Welcome to a special episode of TeeVo and the Beard.
I know you can't see it, but I'm TeeVo, and that's the beard.
I found out that TeeVo saw a couple movies, along with going to Dragon Con and all that. Our next episode will be Dragon Con, but today I want to take him to the movies a little bit.
Yeah, so we have found out that our most popular episodes are movie reviews. So the very few of you that are actually watching or listening,
right,
you apparently love the movie reviews.
And we thank you for that.
Very much so.
And once the shows start, it'll be more that same sort of show, that same kind of theme, but just show-related, not film-related.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So this weekend, I went to see Hell or High Water, the new Jeff Bridges movie, which you should see since we talked about Jeff Bridges.
Yeah, I mean, if I can watch, R.I.P.D. and Tron Legacy and stuff like that, I think I can watch a good movie.
Oh, this was a fantastic movie. There's not much that I can... It was a slow burn.
Okay.
So I feel like if I reviewed it plot by plot...
Yeah, we don't want to get spoilery on that one. We'll get spoilery on the main one.
It would be a slow burn of a review. It's like, well, so-and-so did this. But all I can say was, in the summer, in every summer, there's lots of movies that are, laugh-out-loud comedies or, high-octane, like, CGI-filled action movies.
Star Trek.
There you go. Yeah. It's sometimes nice to, get grounded and see a story that, only takes place in, a couple towns.
So is this like a drama?
It's a drama. Okay. And it goes back to the other episode we talked about. I do like dramas, and, this did not have, very,
What's the basic plot of it?
Yeah. It's about two brothers, played by Ben Foster and Chris Pine. Chris Pine.
So it's got a good pedigree already.
Yeah, exactly. And they play two brothers who are about to lose their family ranch to the bank. So they plan to steal money from the banks. Multiple banks to pay off the reverse mortgage. Okay. And Jeff Bridges plays an almost retired Texas Ranger.
He's good at that.
He is. Really
I enjoyed him in True Grit.
There you go. So. He plays an almost retired one, and it's his last case, and he's trying to find these boys. And like I said, it's a slow burn, but it's a good slow burn. Like beyond the amazing action you see in like a Captain America film or the comedy you see in like a Ted or something.
Right.
I like it all boils down to character. This movie had a lot of character. I honestly didn't even know Ben Foster's name until the end of the movie. Okay, but I believed him with Chris Pine. I believe their relationship. I believe what, Jeff Bridges was selling to us. So that, it goes to those movies. I like those movies. I like sitting there being invested.
Yeah. I'm very thankful that Chris Pine has already proven multiple times he can do more than just Kirk.
It's funny.
Or do you see him as kind of Kirk in...
No, it's just funny because I too, I guess, saw stereotyped Chris Pine that way. Okay.
Well, you've never seen Into the Woods then, have you?
I have seen Into the Woods.
Well, see, I thought he was great in that and very un-Kirk.
He's been un-Kirk in almost everything I've seen. The only time he was sort of Kirk, but I think it was probably a paycheck movie. It was that movie he did with Tom Hardy, Reese Witherspoon. Okay. This Is War or something. Okay. Where they essentially spy versus spy. I think... if he told me, that was for a paycheck, I'd be like, whatever. Well, sure, whatever. But everything I've seen Chris Pine in, every time, even though I've enjoyed him, I don't hate him or anything. Yeah. And I don't dislike him. I don't think I've ever really disliked Chris Pine. But every time I see him in something, it's like, wow, man, you're really selling the role to me, no matter what it is. Awesome, man.
Because it's almost like your brain wants to put him in that Kirk box.
Or just, I think they, packaged him before Kirk as like, the typical hot bod guy.
Right, yeah.
And he could play those roles, sure, but...
He's more than the pretty boy.
He's more than pretty boy. He's more than Kirk. He's just... He sells his... He's doing his job.
Yeah, and I think he's going to be an excellent Steve in Wonder
Woman. I think, and honestly, I don't think there's been a Chris Pine performance that I really haven't liked. Yeah. There have been Chris Pine movies that I particularly won't watch again, but I can't say, well, it was Chris Pine's fault.
Right.
But
with the current movie, is it one you would get on Blu-ray when it comes out? Would you see it again?
This one, Hell or High Water? Yeah. I want to see this one again. Okay. But the main review I want to talk about, speaking of geek stuff, I just wanted to put that out there in case anybody's listening and see that Hell or High Water is playing at their local theater. I say you should see it.
Yeah, definitely go see it then.
But the main one
Yes, the main event.
Main event, Yoga Hosers.
Yoga Hosers, all right, eh?
For anybody who follows Kevin Smith, knows that he has these 3 movies coming out. One already did, called Tusk.
Right.
Which you saw recently.
I have seen Tusk, yes. I love horror movies. So.
And there is Yoga Hosers, which is out now. And he's trying to make Moose Jaws, which, as he explains, is Jaws, but with a moose.
Right. So
and I'm interested.
And this is the Great White North trilogy.
Yes.
It's all Canada-based.
It's all Canada-based.
Yeah.
And if you haven't seen Tusk, see, that one's tough. I can't really recommend it, but I don't hate it.
Right.
But I can't really look someone eye to eye going, oh my god, you should see Tusk.
Yeah, well, I'm not sure where else it's streaming, but it's on Amazon Prime. So if you have that, you basically see it for free. You can think of it that way. So that way, if you see it and don't like it, fine. If you see it and love it, watch it again.
So for people who have seen Tusk, when they ask me, you know, how's Yoga Hosers? And I say, it's better. It's more lighter.
Right.
One of the reasons that keep me from seeing Tusk, which, by the way, small synopsis, Tusk. Man goes to Canada, meets a really crazy man, man turns into walls. Not in a magical way.
Right, no, in a very dark, gruesome way. Not as gory as I thought.
Not as gory, but still.
Yeah. It's one of the few horror movies, if not the only one
Not
I've
Manatee
seen.
Walrus, sorry.
Anyway, I thought you said Walrus.
I did? I don't know.
Yeah, in your head you
Walrus.
Yeah, so hence the name Tusk.
Yeah.
But I think it's the only horror movie I've seen where I've seen it once. I really, really enjoyed it.
Same here.
I would give it like 4.5 stars, but I will never watch it again.
I saw it in theaters, and again, I remember leaving, wow, that was an experience. I don't know if I'll ever want to watch it again.
Yeah, I have no desire.
And I haven't.
Yeah.
And that came out, I think, almost 2 years ago.
Yeah, and like we've discussed off air, you know, there's nobody likable.
The thing that I do say about Yoga Hosers is that the characters are a shade more likable in this.
Right, they'd have to be.
So what this review will be is, unlike the Hell or High Water, I will go plot for plot.
Right. Yeah.
So, full spoiler reviews.
Right, yes.
So, if you've seen Tusk, you met the Colleens. We have Colleen McKenzie, played by Harley Quinn Smith.
Right.
And Colleen
Kevin
Collette.
Smith's daughter, for those who don't know.
Kevin Smith's daughter. And Colleen Collette, played by Lily Rose Depp, who is Johnny Depp's daughter.
Right.
We met them in Tusk at the A to Z convenience store.
Yeah. Because I think Clerks, but females.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think the way Kevin Smith has been advertising this one is like, it's Clueless meets Gremlins.
Nice. I like that.
And I was like, sure.
Yeah.
Sure. So we see them, and the first scene is they're rocking out because they're in a girl rock band, because why not?
Why not, yeah.
And they do it in the back of the convenience store, because why not? And you see that they're pretty much like the clerks of Clerks. They're just there because, in a sense, they have to. Now they're not, their lives aren't depending on it, because they're only teenagers, but still. Backstory is Colleen Collects Lily Rose Depp's characters. Her father owns the business. Okay. So essentially she kind of has to work. And you see that they just do regular teenage girl stuff. They talk about boys. They do a lot of texting. They text each other while they're in the same space.
Which they do in Tusk.
That's right. They do. So pretty much if you've seen them in Tusk, that's essentially how they are.
Okay. Good intro for the characters.
Good intro for the character. And then the next thing we see is a man who was a customer at the A to Z has been suddenly killed by this tiny off-screen creature. And we're thinking, oh man, here's where the action's starting. Then we follow them to school. They do regular school stuff. We see them at their yoga studio, which is played by... Their yoga master is played by Justin Long. And he goes by the name of Yogi Beier.
Right, nice.
Yeah. There's also a ongoing joke that he's getting calls from like Paramount, whoever owns the rights to Yogi Bear. He's getting sued by them.
Of course.
And so, they do all these crazy yoga poses with really weird names. Goes back to school, and all of a sudden they're confronted by Guy Lapointe.
Right.
Which, if you haven't seen Tusk, Guy Lapointe is a kind of like investigator, bounty hunter type guy.
Horrible detective.
Who is played by Johnny Depp.
Right. And at first, in Tusk, I knew he played him, but I couldn't see Depp. in that, which was great. I mean,
this one
is definitely a compliment.
Oh, this one he goes further into it.
Okay,
yeah.
Because normally, like when you see like Pirates of the Caribbean or Sweeney Todd or something, you're like, oh, that's totally Johnny Depp, right?
Guy Lapointe is not.
Yeah,
he even goes further into like Guy Lapointe-ness and Yoga Hosers, and basically he arrives at the Colleen schools. To ask them if they know anything about the man that was just recently killed. Mm-hmm. To which they're like, no, I don't know anything.
Right.
And the main thing that starts the plot going is that the Colleens are invited to a senior party by the hot guy in school. Mm-hmm. And naturally, they're excited. But they're forced to work the night that they want to go.
Right.
And just like in Clerks, they're not even supposed to be there that day.
Yeah.
So they devise a plan. They're thinking, hey, let's bring the senior party over to the A to Z.
Makes sense.
So then they call the guy, and he's like, sure, yeah, I'll bring over everybody. And as the camera pans out, they're not at a party. Turns out, because why not, that they are Satanists.
Oh, okay. Did not see that coming.
The hot guy and his best friend are Satanists, and they are planning to basically sacrifice the Colleen to Satan. And then when they go to the A to Z, and the hot senior guy, I think his name was Hunter in the movie, when Hunter, gets the Colleen that's Kevin Smith's Colleen into the back room, and he explains why they're doing it. He's like, oh, well, the senior girls, they're not pure like the sophomore girls. And you're thinking, all right, Satanist, sure.
Yeah.
Why not?
And subtle, too.
Yeah. And then as he is about to kill her, he is then killed by said creature.
Okay.
And it turns out they are Bratzies, which is Nazi Bratzies.
Nazi Bratzies.
Nazi Bratzies. Because when they were in school, they got a history lesson from Vanessa Paradis, who is Lily Rose Depp's mother. And by the way, Harley Quinn Smith's mother in the movie is played by her own mother.
Nice. Keeping it all in the family.
All in the family.
Yeah.
But anyway,
cheaper actors if you do it that way.
You can see like, hey, you want to just come in?
Yeah.
We already know you.
We have catering here.
So in the history lesson, we learned that, which is factual, there was a Canadian guy that was a huge Nazi supporter. And because through Wikipedia, I learned, oh, this is a real guy. Because, they did the ever classic black and white history lesson, and we see a man, Adrian Arcane, who, was essentially, they dubbed him the Canadian Hitler. And I'm thinking, oh, okay, that's a pretty good makeup there, Haley Joel Osment.
Yeah.
And then through Wikipedia, I was like, oh, that was a real guy? Shows how much I know about Canadian history.
Right, yeah. No,
but
we're American, so it's okay.
There you go. But he got a sympathizer who was basically like a scientist from Germany, and then they did Nazi stuff before, Nazism was, completely kibosh.
Right.
And then the mystery was that the scientist doctor guy was never found.
Okay.
So you're thinking, all right, that's obviously going to come back.
Yeah.
So anyway, they're being attacked by Bratzies. Hunter is killed. The best guy friend, Satanist guy, is killed. And then the store is overrun with these little tiny Bratzies, played by Kevin Smith.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
All these are played by Kevin Smith.
Did not know that.
And of course, they have hockey sticks.
Of course.
So they do fighting hockey, moves.
Now, were these little CG things? Or
they're CG. They're not great CG things, but, they're... Then the movie,
But they fit the tone of the film?
They do fit the tone of the film. And they defeat the Bratzies for now. But the cops came. And oh no, there's 2 dead boys and, 2 live girls. And they're thinking, oh, well, obviously.
Yeah.
These girls killed them. So then they go to jail. And then they are visited once again by Guy Lapointe, who has been let in by Jason Mewes.
Okay, nice.
And he basically says, so they're looking to pin this all on you. And they're like, no, it's not us. It was Bratzies. And he's like, Bratzies. And then they explain what's happened. And he's like, okay, yeah, I'm going to follow you guys. So he essentially breaks them out of jail. Ish. And then they go back to the A to Z. And the only reason that they went back to the A to Z was because Johnny Depp's Colleen basically said, "Oh yeah, no, there's a secret passageway I know of. We can investigate there." And then they argue, it's like, "Why didn't you tell me about the secret passage?" "Because I had to say something so he can get us. There's no secret passage." But lo and behold, there really is a secret passage. Nice. And then they are all kidnapped. And then they are kidnapped by that German scientist. And you're wondering, as the viewer, okay, so how are you alive? Because, World War II was a long time ago.
Yeah.
So apparently, because
reasons.
Yeah. He managed to freeze himself under the A to Z. And was
convenient.
And was going to wake up 100 years after, after it all.
Right.
And also before he went to sleep, he made Nazi-Bratzi clones that were going to be of himself.
Okay.
And and I know what most people were thinking when they were watching. It's like, wait, it has been 100 years yet.
Yeah.
So apparently the Colleens play their music so loud one night, and then they, crash the electricity, that he was woken up 30 years too early.
So it was all perfect storm, sort of.
Kinda. And the Bratzis weren't developed 100% because they couldn't, be there for 100 years. So that's why when you see them, they're kind of like, like little trolls.
Right.
What they were supposed to be, we don't know. But
so Gremlins means Clueless.
Exactly. Yeah. And you're thinking, oh no, is he going to, sacrifice them? Or is he going to do Nazi experimentations? No. Again, because reasons, the only thing this guy wants is to be featured in basically Us Weekly.
Okay.
So, he explained when he got out, when he was unfrozen, he went out and he went to the A to Z, because, secret passage.
Yeah.
He said he watched everything on Netflix, read all the magazines, and learned what I truly want is to be featured on one of these things. Wow. So I kidnapped you, Colleen, so can you take my picture?
So too much Kardashians is what he...
Essentially.
Yeah.
So again, because of reasons.
Yeah.
And also, he did, however, build something nefarious. Mm-hmm. He called it the Golem, which he took body parts of, various people that the Bratzis have killed. Mm-hmm. Again, if you've seen Tusk and you saw how Justin Long's character became the Walrus, this is like that. Made of body parts, but practical effects.
Right.
And how they escape themselves is they fight the Golem using yoga.
Of course. Well, they're yoga hosers.
They're yoga hosers. And that's essentially the movie.
Nice.
Cameos all around. Like I said, you got Johnny Depp, you got Jason Mewes, Kevin Conroy, who famously voices Batman, has a cameo. Stan Lee has a cameo.
Wow.
Let's see.
So are we going to see a comic version of Yoga Hosers?
I doubt it, because it's funny, because of the two movies I saw, one has a highly fresh rating, and one has a very rotten rating.
Really?
Yeah. I'll let you guys guess which one had either or. So going to my reaction, I liked it.
Yeah.
Like we said before, I think I was going to like this one a little more than Tusk, because there was a lot of mystery around Tusk.
Right.
Maybe because very little people saw it, or maybe they managed to just keep a secret that well. Because I don't remember seeing anything beyond, it's a movie about a guy who gets turned into a walrus.
Right. Yeah.
And even then,
it could be magical. It could be.
Well, I don't know. I thought magical.
Right. Yeah.
But then I thought,
because Disney.
Yeah. No, it was not.
It was totally not Disney.
And so this one, I was thinking, okay, I think maybe I had low expectations because I read reviews when it first premiered in January at a film festival, and it was getting trash.
Okay.
Trash hard. And it's still getting relatively trashed by people who, quote unquote, do this for a living.
I'm about to say, it sounds like a good horror comedy type thing.
It's barely horror, I would say. It's just
besides having creatures.
Yeah, to me it's barely horror. I would lean more comedy in it more than anything.
Okay.
But if you really want, you can categorize hey, it's so bad, it's good.
Okay. Worth seeing again?
I would buy it.
Okay.
I haven't bought Tusk, by the way.
Right.
Again, saw Tusk.
Saw it once.
Enjoyed my experience. I don't ever want to see it again.
It also sounds like to see this one, you don't have to see Tusk, but if you do see Tusk, you're going to get more
barely
out of it.
Barely. You know, there's in the movie, there's like a newspaper clipping of the girls, and the headline says, you know, teenage clerks saved the Manitoba manatee. And you're thinking, oh, Tusk.
Okay.
And then there's one part where Guy Lapointe talks about the last time they met, and you're thinking, oh, Tusk.
Right.
That's about it. You won't.
Okay.
You're not going to lose anything.
Yeah.
But at the end, it does say the Colleens will return in Moose Jaws. And again,
because it is basically their trilogy.
I am looking forward to Moose Jaws.
Yeah.
I think that one I can get behind.
Yeah.
As long as, you know, I think the best thing they could do is make Guy Lapointe the main guy, like the Quint of the movie.
It sounds though like in true Kevin Smith form, it's a collection of movies that can either be watched separately or watched as a one universe sort of thing. So, and that's one thing I've always liked about Kevin Smith's work.
Hey, Kevin Smith, you're hearing this. Compliment.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
We're complimenting you.
Yeah. Of course, I'm in the minority of his fans though, because Red State's my favorite movie of his.
Mine would be, let's see, I would say like Dogma. I think it's because because the first one I saw, and it was like, and I was young when I first saw it, so Dogma was like the type of movie, a new type of movie I was introduced to. Okay. Like I even though I saw the edited version on Comedy Central, but still, it was
is sometimes funnier than seeing the full version.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But I just remember watching, and going, "This is not like any other movie I've seen before."
Yeah, no, it really wasn't.
So I have a special place for that.
Yeah, I think that was the first one that I liked of his because I saw Clerks when I was real young, and that's
would it be when Clerks actually came out?
Right. Yeah. Okay. And so if you're really young, watching something like Clerks, which one is in?
We have a visitor.
I know.
What are y'all doing?
Oh, recording. No, it's fine. I can edit this part out.
Or we can just leave you in.
Or we can leave it.
You can leave me in.
A special guest, Tea Maker, is there.
Oh, yeah. How are you, Tea Maker?
I'm very good. I'm actually just going to have tea water, which is water with about 0.1% tea.
What kind of tea?
Yes, this episode's been brought to you by
Irish breakfast tea.
Irish breakfast tea.
Irish breakfast tea. Go get yourself one and be like the Tea Maker.
Right.
But yeah, I remember when I saw Clerks. It was like, wow, this is a different type of movie.
Right. Well, but how old were you when you saw it?
I will say when I saw Dogma, I was about, say, 14.
Okay. And
Clerks, I remember I watched Clerks also on Comedy Central, but it was that period where Comedy Central was showing uncensored movies after a certain, 12 or 1 or something on Saturday night. So I saw it then. So I got to see it.
And that one you have to see the full version.
Yeah. I'd say maybe 16 or something.
Okay, so you saw it older than when I saw it. And seeing it real young, for one, it's in black and white, like I was saying, and so that kind of throws you off as a kid. And there's just so much more grown-up content.
What really, made me think in a new way was, it's lauded as one of the most hilarious movies.
Yeah,
but you don't see anything.
Right.
You really have to pay attention to what's being said, because I think my comedy taste before that was, like the sight gags.
Yeah.
A lot of sight gags. I grew up on Mike Myers and Adam Sandler and Jim Carrey. Sight gags all around.
Right.
I think it may have started with kind of like Will Ferrell movies, per se, even though he's full of sight gags. But there are those throwaway lines that if you heard, it's really funny.
Yeah.
But you had to hear it.
Right.
So with Kevin Smith, with Clerks, you have to listen to this whole thing.
Yeah.
Because it's not funny.
And when I got older and saw it again, because it took me a while before I even gave it a second chance.
Yeah.
Because I was like, well, that was horrible. Why are people making such a huge deal about this movie? But yeah, seeing it older, I was like, this is a really great film.
And goes, Mallrats I really like. The only one I didn't like of that set of movies.
Chasing Amy.
Yes.
I'm with you on that.
But, I saw it again when I was older, and I get it.
Right.
But, again, I don't want to.
I understand why people like it.
For me, I don't really want to watch it.
Yeah.
And then, the ever popular, I don't like Jersey Girl that much.
Right.
But
I like George Carlin in Jersey
I can actually watch it more than, Chasing Amy.
Yeah.
In the sense of, I have a niece and, That, you know, growing up with a little girl in the family, I was like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah. And then Clerks, too, because, you know, you kind of have to mention Clerks, too.
I do mean. Well,
it exists.
There are parts of Clerks, too, I really like.
Right.
So,
I don't think it had to be made.
It did not have to be made. But then again, as Kevin Smith points out, he doesn't have to do a lot of things now. He just does.
Yeah, and I like that about him. He does have that laissez-faire attitude, but sometimes it works.
Yes, sometimes it works. Sometimes it does not.
Right.
But I would say Yoga Hosers worked for me. I will get it. Right. I like the soundtrack a lot. The girls sing some of their own songs in the movie. I think like 3 of them. Good songs. I actually would like to download them.
Yeah, okay, nice.
So, works for me. But at the same time, I was reading some of the comments on, you know, reviews and whatnot. I was like, yeah, I can see why that would bother you.
Okay.
So it wasn't like, you know, I was thinking, oh, well, they're all idiots.
Yeah. If
they can't see Yoga Hosers, are a great movie, you know. I have little faith in people that review movies.
Right.
And it was like, oh, I can see that. But that was, you know, that's your opinion. That's my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah, it definitely sounds like a lighter movie than Tusk by like 1,000,000%.
Yeah, and like I said, like, you know, the Colleens aren't 100% likable. You know, that's where Tusk lost me.
Right.
But they're only annoying in, like, the teenage girl way. They're not horrible people.
Right.
Like in Tusk. So that's why it was easier for me. I think because it was not, you know, built to be like, you know, a tension build.
Yeah.
Until, you know, he gets kidnapped, turned to a walrus, like in Tusk. This is kind of like, it had like, kind of like the action comedy build up. It was like, we gotta do this, and then we're gonna go over there.
Right, and they just keep...
And with a little, I guess, you know, that horror tension, you know, built in.
But they keep getting in these situations that, in the real world, don't make any sense.
Yeah.
But, you know, because reasons that end up in them.
Now, with Moose Jaws, Kevin Smith, when you finally make that, I do hope it's like a real horror movie.
Right. Jaws with a moose.
Yeah. I mean, if essentially that's your tagline. I really do hope that's a tagline.
Yeah.
Like, I know he's been explaining that that's how it is for forever, but I hope...
I want it right at the bottom of the poster.
Exactly. Moose Jaws. What is it? It's Jaws with a moose.
Exactly.
All right.
Yeah.
That's all.
Now, in Hosers, was Guy getting a little bit better at his job?
Not really.
Not really? Okay.
Not really, but
because he does it so well. He stays right on that line of, you know how a stupid character can get like too dumb and it gets annoying?
Yeah.
With Tusk, he was right there on that line where it was like,
I'm
behind him.
I would say he's still there, but maybe because the novelty of seeing Johnny Depp and all that makeup and that accent's kind of funny.
Yeah. Yeah. He is very Quebecian.
Yes. Yes. Let's see. Any final thoughts about the movie? No, that's all I had to say.
Go see it. See it at a matinee.
Well, actually, you know what? You know what? It's really tough because I had to. I was in Atlanta, and the only theater that was playing this movie in the Atlanta area was in Fayetteville.
Oh wow!
So if you can see it, that's what I was going to say. If you can,
use Google Maps to find out why that's impressive there.
Yeah. But even when I saw Tusk. I had to drive to Bluffton, which, again, people who aren't seeing us and don't know where we are, it's about a 20-mile drive from the city.
Yeah, just to see a movie.
Just to see a movie. Just to see Tusk. Just see a movie I will not see again.
Right.
But I wanted
It's still worth the drive.
But I wanted to see it. This time, again, you know, you would think in Atlanta, Georgia, loads of theaters. I did the search. Where is Yoga Hosers playing? Oh, great. It's in what?
Right.
Okay.
Because Atlanta's, I mean, it's the capital of the state. It's the big metropolis
and there's
type area.
When you have like 4 or 5 art cinemas, you would think.
One person has to have it. Yeah.
One person. Yeah. Well, I mean, technically, when I put it in Fandango, one person didn't have it. Just it was not as close.
Yeah, you had to cross the city line.
It was basically a movie where I was like, okay, when I'm leaving Atlanta, I will make a pit stop.
Right. Yeah.
Not like, oh, what am I doing today? Let me just go see.
You're not going to interrupt Dragon Con to go.
Yeah, well, I mean, I would have if it was closer to Dragon Con, but it was not. So it was the movie. I was like, okay, let me pack everything, and then I'm going to go to Fayetteville, see this movie, and then I'm going to go home.
And you think with Dragon Con, that would have been reason enough right there to have it closer.
I said the same thing, but then I thought, well, you know, Tusk never played here. Yeah. And even when it played where I did go, I think it only played a week.
Okay.
I wouldn't be surprised if Yoga Hosers doesn't stay around.
Yeah.
So basically, when you see it at the Red Box or at your local Best Buy, think of this review.
Or Netflix.
Or Netflix. Yeah. But it's Tusk.
Well, no, Tusk is on Amazon, so yeah. If it goes,
if you see it streaming somewhere, just think of this review and go, should I watch this movie?
Yeah.
But then again, if you already like Kevin Smith, I think you should watch it anyway.
Lately, I've always given his stuff a try. You know?
Yeah. Well.
Doesn't necessarily mean I love it, but I'll give it a try.
Yeah, like Tusk.
Right.
The only one I never gave a try was Cop Out.
I don't think I've seen that one.
It's that one. It's that Bruce Willis movie he did where the first commercial movie he was making.
Right. That's the movie that paid for Red State.
Yeah. The one that he always complains about.
Yeah.
And in turn, Bruce Willis complains about him. That's the movie where they lost their friendship.
Yeah. But it paid for Red State, so I appreciate it. But yeah, I probably won't see it.
Yeah. That I just remember looking at that one going, "This looks bad." Mm-hmm. And I watched Jersey Girl. So that's saying something when I look at this one going, nah, not for me. Mm-hmm. Any other final questions about the film?
Oh no, I think you explained it pretty well there. It definitely sounds like it's worth going out to see, or at least
if you can find it.
If you can find it, yeah. So, or at least waiting for Amazon Prime or somebody to pick it up. And,
yeah,
definitely gonna add it to my list of.
And the Jeff Bridges movie.
And Jeff Bridges, I want to see that one.
Oh, that one's playing. That one's playing in loads of theaters.
Yeah,
so don't worry about that one.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't. It's the type I wouldn't necessarily say, "Oh, you have to see us in the theater." Mm-hmm. But if you do, all the better. But
but the good thing is, like we've mentioned in episodes before, if you like something and you spend money on that thing, chances are they'll make more of that.
Yes.
This
one, if you see when it streams or at the Red Box, or if you want to even buy it, I would recommend it.
Okay.
It's definitely not a movie to watch with a family. Not because of the content or anything. I mean, it's a rather tame, kind of gritty movie. Mm-hmm. But just, your child will be bored.
Okay.
Beyond.
Yeah. And having a 3-year-old,
Jeff Bridges cannot. I don't know if your child has understood Jeff Bridges yet.
Well, she loves the Big Lebowski, so.
Okay. But this one, there's nothing to really grasp if you're not understanding what's going on. Mm-hmm. So I can't say, hey, play it for the family.
Right. Yeah, it sounds like even my wife probably wouldn't.
I don't think you know what? Come think of it, I don't think she would either.
Yeah, so I might have to just take a venture to the theater on my own.
Or just, when you have a day alone, pop it in. Yeah. When you can, not now.
Right.
Unless you watch it illegally, which we're not saying you should.
We're not condoning that.
Don't do that.
No.
Again, like you said, if you pay for it, they make more of these things. Right. If you don't, then they don't.
Right. So don't even worry about, if it's legal or not legal or any of that.
Yeah. Just look at it that way. Just if you pirate stuff, that's you're taking money away from them. Going, well, they're seeing it, but they don't want to pay for it. Yeah. So why should we?
Well, if you're pirating, they don't necessarily know you're even seeing it.
Yeah, exactly.
Let them know you're seeing it.
Buy the dollars, guys.
Right. So and so that's been our special episode today. Hope
you see said movies.
Yes, in our next episode, of course, we're going to get to hear TeeVo's trip to Dragon Con.
Yes.
And get to hear about his stalking adventures. And,
yes.
All the great people he got to meet. So until next time. Bye-bye.